Okay, so as you've probably seen, they just released the 3.3 version of the CorOS update for the Quad Cortex. And there's a bunch of videos out there of folks that got the release early and they're going through all the features there. But since I just got it today, what I wanted to do is just do a quick exploration of the new Dumble tones. There's a new amp model. There's a Dumble Amp Model, Dumble ODS. And then there is also a set of the V2 captures of a Dumble ODS. And so I figured, let's check those out. We can kind of see how well it does with this amp and also kind of dip our toes into the V2 captures, and maybe we'll check out some of the other new stuff as well. So I haven't prepared a preset in advance for this. We're just going to kind of go in and do it on the fly. And so apologies if I skip around a little bit, but let's go ahead and build a preset and see how it sounds. So you can see here, I've got an empty preset. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add an extra line so we can add in as much of the captures as we can. And let's go ahead and let's add one of the new reverbs to the end. We'll use the spring reverb. We'll do the stereo. We'll just leave the settings as is. And then I haven't added any new delays or anything. So we'll just go with the spring reverb for now. Let's go ahead and add in the amp. So amp, let's find it, Dumble ODS. So let's check out how is it doing in terms of CPU. So you can see this is a pretty heavy amp in terms of CPU usage. I think this might be even heavier than the Lone Star. Let's look at the Lone Star. Yeah, it's even heavier than a Lone Star. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So you've got a clean channel, an OD channel, volume, bass, middle, treble, a boost. So you've got the OD content, OD volume that only if you're on the OD channel. You've got a master and a presence. And then you've got a bright switch, a mid boost, an EQ, the rock jazz. That's a standard thing. And then obviously your output. So this is an amp, so we're going to need a cab. I don't know if they added a cab that goes with this. Probably the 2-Rock. Let's check them out and hear how it sounds. So here's the 2-Rock EV. And we're on the OD channel for the double amp, remember. Sounds kind of hollow. This one's kind of... Maybe we'll go with that one. Are there any other ones that we should check out? So we've got some Zilla opens. That one's not bad. But let's just stick with the 2-Rock one because I think that's probably more lined up with what you should use with this amp. So all right, let's check out what we can do with the amps. Let's put it in a clean mode. Well, we lose a lot of volume. Let's try the boost. go ahead and keep that around halfway. We'll turn the boost off. What kind of clean setting are we going to get? I feel like we got to pump up the volume a little bit. Wow, the volume is really down on that in jazz mode. So that mid boost is nice. Kind of go to a little bit of a bluesy lead. The bright. I mean, that's even on the neck pickup. If we pull back treble. Yeah, not loving the bright switch. Let's go back and let's play around with the OD channel. They're much louder. We got to bring this back down. A little noisy too. Add in my So, I mean, it is that. So it's definitely got that kind of Dumble, that kind of loose, warm, mid-focused kind of drive. That's what the amp sounds like. Let's go ahead. I'm going to turn that off. Let's do some captures. So we'll go up here. We're going to go to neural captures. And I like they've separated the captures, the factory ones, into V1, V2. And you can even look them up by amp. So which is what we're going to do. Here's the Dumble ODS. And they've got a good number of them. Let's see what they sound like. So once again, I have the complaint that the captures they put in don't have any good labeling on them. So you just got to go through all of them separately and see how they sound. And they all sound pretty similar. It's kind of hard to understand the difference. And in terms of these being V2s, they don't feel any different to me. They're pretty much the same as the V1 captures. It's not a bad tone. This is another clean one. And the volumes seem to be all over the place. This one's kind of fuzzy. So it's interesting. I'm not going to go through all 29 of these. I'm having the same issues I've had with all the factory captures from the get-go, is that, you're just hunting and pecking through them. You don't know what's what. I don't know what the difference is between ODS 13 and ODS 14. And it's weird to go through these. You can get a heavy one, and then all of a sudden it's clean and really low volume. And then go to the next one, it's another heavy one. So I wish there was at least a rhyme or reason to the order that you put them in. Maybe they were ordered from cleanest to dirtiest or something like that. I wish maybe they had better labels to them. I'm not sure what the deal is. So what do we think about the new kind of Dumble pieces that are in the new release? This is an amp model I've been waiting for quite a long time. Actually, if you go back, I did a video at the end of 2023 talking about my 2024 wish list of things I wanted to see. And one of them was kind of more new amp models, specifically a Dumble model. So I'm glad to see that they've actually added one. It's got all the bells and whistles that you would have on a Dumble amp. The other thing you notice is many of these settings have this little eye that says if you switch between these, like when you're switching scenes, for instance, from OD to clean, you will get a break in the tone. So this is kind of like, similar to the Kraken when you're switching the tube types. If you want to have a preset that uses scenes with both settings, what you really need to do is have 2 amp blocks to get that seamless switching. But with an amp that has this much CPU built into it, it can be really problematic because that's sucking up a lot of your CPU. So personally, I would have preferred to have 2 models, one that's the clean, one that's the OD. Number one, that means that each model would take up less CPU. And 2, then if you're running both of them together, you can seamlessly switch and you'd be okay. But this way, if I need to do seamless switching, I would need to add in a second amp model of the same type. Where'd it go? There it is. Put that on clean, put this on OD. But you can see now I'm running at 44%, and all I'm running is 2 amps, the cab, and the reverb. So I don't know, that's just a quick kind of on the fly first impressions of kind of the Dumble stuff that's been added to the 3.3 release. Of course, I'm going to be digging into this release and checking out all of the other features. So definitely more to come about this release. I downloaded and installed it. I didn't have any issues at all. So I don't think there's any danger in upgrading if you're kind of holding back. Obviously, you do need to upgrade the Cortex Control app in sync with updating your Quad Cortex. And we'll go from there. As always, thanks for watching.